I dislike today's topic, the book that I hold in my little mitt called Wild at Heart by John Eldredge. Instead of me doing that, instead of giving my presentation for what I think is problematic about this book, which is all the rage in Christian circles, perhaps you would like to call in and share why you love the book so much. Now, last time we talked about, the reason that I'm talking about this book, Wild at Heart, is because it came up once on this here program on KKMS, and everybody called in going, love the book, love the book, love the book. So, great. I was given a copy of the book and I read it. Didn't love the book, didn't love the book, didn't love the book. But a lot of people did. Oh, it's just the greatest thing. Everybody's reading the Wild at Heart book by John Eldredge. All the guys are. And the women are being encouraged to read it also. Maybe you could tell me why you liked it so much, because I dislike it so much. If you are listening, you read the book, you loved it. You thought it was better than bananas. It was just the greatest thing since sliced bread. Call in and share why, because maybe I'm just missing it. Maybe I need a little education. Maybe I've been reading this from all the wrong perspective, and you can educate me. 651-289-4499. That's right, we have a brand new number here. 651-289-4499. Just when you were getting used to the old one, we give you a new one. 651-289-4499. Do you like Wild at Heart? Tell me what I missed. Now, there are some things in this particular book that I think are worthy of some consideration. For instance, the book talks about if you had a dad, which actually, according to John Eldredge, we all had a dad who, because it wouldn't be all that brilliant for him to come out and say everybody had a dad, because really we all do. So he said, though, that we all had a dad who hurt us, that wounded us. We've got a wound, and it's a deep wound, and that's why you're so miserable, mister. And you don't think you do? Well, you do. You've got this deep wound. All right, I don't disagree with that. It's possible that a lot of guys had dads that were bad, and maybe they never dealt with it, and they should take some time to grieve it. I'm all for that. But I'm not really all that excited about going back to dig up the past to simply wallow in it for the sake of some sort of psychological therapeutic exercise, or to give it any more stock, or to encourage any more a deeper appraisal, or a more intense appraisal of your father's performance. Then, if it's not a problem, don't go back and relive it. Press on, man. Move forward. But I'm all for, if you've been hurt, then grieve it, man. You had a bad dad? It bummed you out? Then take some time to cry about it. Go ahead. That's fine. John Eldredge just goes 10 steps further. There's another thing that John Eldredge says in his book, Wild at Heart, that I think is very worthy of some consideration. He says, for instance, there are tribes in Africa, and he gives a lot of examples of this. There are tribes in Africa that they have a ceremony where the boy goes off to be with dad. Dad takes him away, and they go punch each other in the arm for a week, or they go hunting lions or something. And the boy can't come back until he's killed a lion. And then when he comes back, that means that he's a man. And the mother, when she sees her son coming back, has to be reintroduced because he's a new person. And what Eldredge gets at is this is a very symbolic way of saying that he's no longer a boy. He's no longer under mama's skirt. He's a man. Dad is leading this now. Dad is modeling. Dad is showing. And this treating you like a little baby boy is all done. And we should be doing more of that. In fact, John Eldredge says we better be doing something like that. There comes a time in a boy's life where mama needs to stop being so mama-y to the boy, and dad better take over and start modeling and demonstrating what being a man is all about, and start showing that we men are not only different, but we're separate from you women. That's maybe worthy of some consideration. Now, how far to take that is another thing. I mean, we are supposed to be separate, although we could actually be living in the same house and still be separated from our mothers and fathers if it's done properly. I think there's sometimes in homes, mama has too much influence on the boy. And Eldredge tries to cite some statistic, or he doesn't really cite statistics, he really cites anecdotes of friends of his, and he quotes a lot of movies. And he quotes a lot of songs by the Eagles and Paul Simon. And And, from The Natural and from Gladiator and from guy movies, he gets a lot of his thinking. All right, well, so he's maybe got a point that there comes a time when the boy needs to be kind of pulled away from mom and stop being coddled. Fair enough. But he takes it 10 steps too far, and he also bases a lot of it on movies and not on Scripture. Maybe you could tell me what I'm missing here. 651-289-4499 is the new number here. Talk the Walk on AM 980 KKMS. Heidi, let's see if we can make this bad boy work. Heidi? Tony, my phones are not working, and I don't know why. I've done everything right here.
Okay, did you press the right-hand button?
Huh? The right-hand button?
Yeah.
Now, why do I press the right-hand button now?
The right side button, because that's where she is.
Heidi?
No, it's still bouncing.
I don't know what that means. Doesn't matter. We've got to take a break. 651-289-4499. We'll take a break, and we'll come back, and we won't answer your calls. Wild at Heart, John Eldredge, false teaching galore. But before I launch, maybe you could tell me what I'm missing. It's working. The phones are working. Yeehaw. I mean, yeah, you better believe they are, because I'm wild at heart. I'm a man, and I got what it takes. That's the big question in life. John Eldredge answers it, and it's False Teacher Tuesday topic here on AM 980 KKMS. More Spirited Talk Radio. All the rage. John Eldredge is wild at heart. I'm encouraging you to call me and tell me before I launch into it, what did I miss? Everybody's loving it. I'm not. Let's go to Heidi. Heidi, hello.
Hello. I really liked it because it helped me understand, the psychology of my husband and my son. As far as like the warrior and, the battle to fight and the damsel in distress thing. But then he talked about your heart isn't bad, your heart is good. And I went, whoa, what's this? And he seemed to say that you no longer have a deceitfully wicked heart. And so I thought that was goofy.
Heidi, can I... this whole damsel, I'm designed to fight. I'm designed to go out into the wilderness and explore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not designed that way exactly.
Well, and I don't think that he meant it that that's where you have to go. But there's something that's wired in you that you want to provide for your family.
But it doesn't say that.
Well,
you're right. The way that you said it the first time is exactly right. We're designed to fight. We're designed to be tough and rough and tumble and to explore. And whether you believe it or not, mister, that's what you're designed to do. And It's like, no, that's not what I'm designed to do.
Yeah.
All right, Heidi, thank you very much for your phone call. I appreciate it very much. 651-289-4499. Brand new number here on Talk the Walk on AM 980 KKMS. Jared, hello. Jared?
Yeah.
Fire away, sir.
I don't know. I guess I'm kind of was for the book and kind of wasn't. I'll admit that it left me kind of hanging and confused, but I did like that I felt like it explained why. I do get tired of people saying, well, just sit there and be a good little boy, and, you don't want to offend anyone, but even we have to deal with that sometimes, and sometimes the truth does hurt. And that sometimes when you go out and witness or whatever, you got to make a stand and
Jared,
I
wonder if anybody knows of a book, though, that is a better treatise on men being able to act like men and yet not be this, you've got to go climb a mountain to prove you're a man.
I totally agree with you.
I wish there was a better treatise on it.
The movie things and this and that, I think it was a lot longer than it needed to be to make that particular point. And I do think it's extremely dangerous for us to think that we've got to somehow muster up the strength within us. Because in the past 6 months since I've read the book, I found that I don't have the strength. I don't have the answers.
Bingo!
I'm constantly hanging on God to...
Bingo! Nice job, Jared. I appreciate it very much. Let's take another phone call. Let's go to Julia, who loved it. You loved it?
Well, I'll take two sides to it. For me, and it kind of reflects what the earlier woman said, for me, it made me a much better wife. I think it's the number one book for women to read to understand men.
Okay, what did you learn about men then, real quick?
Well, that we tend to, this society right now is very women-oriented, and we tend to want to be strong and all that, and the best thing that we can do is lift our husbands up. If we really want to, really want to be pleased,
we gotta lift them up. Hey, Julia, I hate to cut you off, but we got to take a break here. We'll come back. John Eldredge. Had it with this namby-pamby, I'm going to be a nice